I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. The air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. And we sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living rooms. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crime in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value. So, I want you to get up now. I want all of you to get up out of your chairs. I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell, I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore.
Well, hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this 500th episode of the Political Spotlight. Can you believe it? This 500th episode of the Political Spotlight coming to you live Sunday, August 3rd, 2025. Welcome to August. Holy crap, it's August. Holy crap. It's August. Can you believe it? Oh my God, where's the summer gone? I'm still out of my mind that people went back to school last Thursday when it was still July. Dear Lord. And they want to know what's wrong with the world today. And I got to say, things started going to hell in a handbasket when they started sending children back to school before Labor Day. I have to say that's one of the biggest travesties known to mankind. Just absolutely insane, in my opinion. Hell, I was even in a bad situation. Like, we went to school before Labor Day, but at least it was like the weekend before. Like the week before, whatever. Anyways, totally crazy. So happy 500th episode, everybody. Hello, happy 500th episode. Look, I don't know if it's like exciting for me or more exciting for you, or it's not exciting for you. Hey, it's not really even exciting for me. It's more a thing for you guys. Like, you guys, how many of you have been here since episode 100? Are there many people that have been here? There are several, I guarantee you. And here's the thing I always have to tell. I always have to say this. I don't have to say this. I don't say this. I don't really care. I don't particularly care one bit. But all of the haters always jump on and say, oh, look, you got 20 people watching you, or you've got 5 people on Facebook, or 20 people are watching you on YouTube. Well, first and foremost, we are live currently on several different platforms. And then after we go live, we will be in audio-only format on many more episodes. And over the course of a 24-hour window, that's the views and the counts that I look at. 24 hours. After a 24-hour window, I normally don't count anymore. But it's YouTube and podcasts. People can watch this stuff for weeks and months and years to come. So I'm not caught up about it. And I always think that that's the very first thing that people like my detractors always say. I'm like, get out of here. It's paying the bills, sweetheart. That's all you need to worry about. So, all right. Hey, what were you doing? Were you flailing your arms? Oh, she was like saluting or flipping me off or something, all the same. Welcome. Hey, give me just a second. I've got just another thing I need to enter in here because I didn't have it done properly, and I want to make sure that I have this in here the proper way as we get started here. Let me make sure the latest. Yep. That's good. Let's do that. Okay, and then lastly, it's the big 500th episode announcement. Okay, so for all of you that are currently watching, welcome, thank you. If you're watching, we are bringing this to you live. If you're watching now live, it is 9:09 p.m. on Sunday, August 3rd, 2025. If you want to communicate with us, you got to do that over here on the right-hand side if you're on YouTube. If you are watching via replay in the future, you got to comment down below. Those are the ways you do it. If you have not yet already hit that like button, I would highly recommend you doing that now before we get advanced into the show and you forget all about it. So give us that thumb and hit the like button. Share the show with everyone you know. If you're not subscribed, please do so now. You can do it for free. It doesn't cost you a dime. And we got a lot of stuff to talk about tonight, ladies and germs. Let me tell you, I'll be really, really serious first and foremost. Yeah, first I want to say this. I made a post on social media about 6 o'clock, about 6:50 tonight, and it was breaking news. And I essentially just stated that. It was a breaking news situation. There was a major police incident in the area of 23rd Street and Mock. And I'm not 110% sure, but I believe that it resulted in a police action shooting of a suspect. There was a call for police in the area of Mock and 23rd Street. And the call was for shots fired at a home or multiple homes. When police got to the area, shots were then being fired at officers, and they said that they thought that it was from a rifle, some kind of a rifle. And so they narrowed down the house, and a person kept peeking out, and they called the guy out. And they were in a standoff. And it was kind of a barricaded subject with this person for a while. SWAT team was called in, and it was definitely a major situation. And so after the police moved in, I put this was just at about 6:50, about 7 p.m. Breaking news, time sensitive as of 6:50 p.m. On Sunday, August 3rd, 2025, there is a major police incident in the area of 23rd Street and Mock Avenue in Muncie, Indiana. If you live in the area, you should stay inside. And if you do not live in the area, you should avoid it at all costs at this time. That, I'm not police. This is you do you. But I believe, because of what I've heard and because of my sources that I've spoke to, I believe that everything is secured. They have a major police presence in the area, and that will probably last for several more hours, probably into the early morning hours. So you'll probably still want to avoid that area. But I believe that the danger is over. I believe that the danger is over. So just FYI. So. And our thoughts and prayers with everybody involved with that. The person that was the bad guy, the police officers, family members, everybody involved. That's always a bad situation. So that's my thoughts and prayers go out to those people. Thank you, Charlize, and thank you for everyone else. But okay, we'll now just get into it. So I'm going to be honest. For several weeks, we've been thinking and planning and talking and doing whatever, and it's just been a busy last several months, really. And so the big run up, the show description more or less says, "Hello, folks! It's finally here, the big 500." And in true political spotlight fashion, there is so much going on that honestly, there's nothing special planned except a big announcement towards the end of the episode. So if you want to hear a big announcement, you're going to want to stick around to the very end. I do that. Yeah, I do that. You know, not very often, but that's this. So you won't want to miss this episode because of the important information that we'll be covering, as well as the big announcement near the end. Here it is, the big 50. Wow, it's a lot of political commentary, 500 shows of political nonsense and bullshit. Well, okay, enough of that. It's time to get to work. There's a lot to discuss. Celebrate our 500th episode in the only way that I know how to, and that's by diving straight into the latest politics and governmental issues impacting Muncie, Delaware County, and beyond. No fluff, no spin, just straight talk. Let's get started. The topics for this evening are, and before we get there, I do want to say a major big shout out and thank you before anybody else, I want to say a big shout out and thank you to all of you that listen, to everyone that listens, to everyone that watches, to the people that call in to give me information, the people that text me and email me, all of you people that are out there that are somehow making this go around and that you guys watch it and suck in the content live or via replay. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Obviously, without you guys, there would be no show. So thank you. Next to you, the next biggest and most important person on this show, obviously, is producer Kate. So a big shout out and thanks to her for everything that she does. Big shout out to Niles for letting us have her time when she's on the show, and to her family and everything. I couldn't do what I do here without producer Kate. So that's a big, big, big thing I want to say. A big, big, big shout out to Brandon Rudd. I know he's not been on a lot lately. He's got a lot going on. He's a busy and important man. Communicate with Brandon very frequently, nearly daily, sometimes many times a day. Sometimes we might not talk for a day or two, but we are in communication multiple days a week, talking about random things and everything. So he's still very much a part of the show, just because it's been kind of behind the scenes for the last little bit. Maybe we'll work that out and get him on a little bit more frequent in the future or whatever, but we're going to let him do what he's got to do, and we thank him for his help. So thanks to the crew here. A big shout out. He's not another person that's not been on in a very long time. A contributing correspondent is Audie Barber. We obviously are in the summertime, which is a big, important time for his work, and a lot of things are going on there, but Audie's here and around when it's important. He always watches the show, listens to the show, whether he watches it live or catches it after the fact. It is what it is. So big shout out to contributing correspondent Audie Barber. A big round of applause and thank you, and shout out to contributing correspondent Dr. Catherine Callahan. We are very most favorite Chinese / Korean correspondent on the show. But we want to thank. Oh no, no. Kate's saying she's not our very favorite. Brandon is actually our favorite Asian. She is our second favorite Asian. Brandon is our first favorite Asian. She is our second favorite Asian, but we want to thank her. And I like the comments that she left up there, and she does a lot of good work for Anderson and Madison County and the surrounding areas and in Indiana. And so we want to thank her as well. And all of the guests that we've had on, we want to give a big shout out and thank you to all of them. So now, because I believe we have all of the big 500th episode stuff out of the way, now we can get to it. Thad Kissick, hey, thank you for watching. I disagree with many of your positions. See, that is just the standard thing that any kind of professional person has to post. Even the people that love everything that I say, they've like got to come on and be like, I disagree with everything that you say. Wink, wink. That way they're like not getting fired or divorced or kicked out of whatever, you know, their HOA, or they can still get money from the city. Ah, God. Thank you, Chad. Thank you, Thad, for your kind words. And that's what makes the world go round. Like, that's the best part of politics, is the disagreement, being able to agree and disagree and all that, and do all of that stuff. Look, hey, Audie just popped up. I tell you guys, he's here. He might not comment, but he's here and sneaking around, either live or by a replay, but he is here. And I tell you, like Beetlejuice, if you say his name, he will appear. I'm telling you, it's very weird how he does that, but he's always here. So, all right. We've got the mayor of Muncie there saying hi to Audie. So here's the deal. We have 5 major topics that we're going to talk about tonight. We're going to be talking about party hopping in Muncie politics. Of course, that's going to be a big talk. That's where we're going to start with. The realist down there, and Brenda. Hello, Brenda. Hello to all of you people that are here tonight, by the way. And for all of you that will be watching this on replay. We're going to be talking about party hopping in Muncie politics. That's going to be first up. Then we're going to go to some talk about Muncie government, a couple of different things. We're going to be talking about the Muncie City Council meeting that's coming up tomorrow. We're going to be talking about the discussion about the DLGF meeting, the budget workshop that was scheduled for last Thursday, the 31st, but then was canceled. And we're going to talk a little bit about that. Why was it canceled? We're going to talk about all of that and what's next for that meeting and the city's 2026 budget process. We're going to talk about that. Topic 3 then is other upcoming meetings, upcoming August 2025 meetings of importance. And those are the Delaware County Commissioners meeting tomorrow morning, Monday, August 4th at 9 a.m. The Randolph County Commissioners meeting also tomorrow morning, Monday, August 4th, 2025 at 9 a.m. The Winchester City Council meeting tomorrow evening, Monday, August 4th, 2025 at 6 p.m. And then obviously the Muncie City Council meeting, as I told you about, which will be at 7 p.m. tomorrow. And then lastly, the Delaware Muncie Plan Commission meeting, which is scheduled for Tuesday, August 12th, 2025 at 6 p.m. And we'll be talking about all of that. And then maybe a couple of extras in there that I didn't include, but we'll probably throw those up. And then topic number 4, the text message question. Oh, we have a possible questionable text message. Is it questionable? Yes or no? And this is going to be a hot button topic. We got a really big question here. A lot of people are interested in this. People have been blowing me up, sending me text messages, texting me, calling me, tagging me in posts. And apparently everybody's concerned about my thoughts in this. So we're going to be talking about that. And then the last story is the latest story of ongoing police corruption. We're going to be just kind of laying the groundwork as we talk about the former Fayette County Sheriff's Department Chief Deputy who has been accused of working as a mole for a major drug dealer from the area who ran a multi-million-dollar drug operation. And that's just the last in a long line of what's becoming law enforcement officers in the state of Indiana that have major issues. But it's not just law enforcement officers. It's other government officials, public servants, and all of this. And what's being, what's going on here? What are the implications of this? And, a lot of other things. And then lastly, we will end with the big 500th episode announcement. I've got a big announcement for you guys. So let's go ahead and get into it. It's going to be fantastic. Party hopping. So we've got party hopping continues. The party hopping continues. As many people are aware by now, I made a post yesterday at just about 12 o'clock, 12:18 p.m. yesterday, that says, breaking news, the Delaware County Republican Party welcomes two more longtime Delaware County Democrats into the local Republican Party. First up is Muncie City Councilor for District 5, Jerry Dishman. And then the next was former Muncie City Councilor for District 6, Roger Overby. They released a press release yesterday, and this is something that I've been made aware of and I've known about since a day or two before. I was actually aware of Jerry before Brandon made the switch. I had been hearing that Jerry was thinking about switching. And then all of a sudden, bam! Brandon dropped that he'd switched. And I'm like, what in the world? This is nuts. Where's Jerry? So I kind of thought Jerry would do it. Then I heard that they were going to make the announcement at the last council meeting in July. And I was like, okay. And Jerry was there, and Overby was actually on hand in the meeting. So I was made aware that they were going to make the switch then. However, I heard that the Republican chairman, Tim Overton, was away doing his reserve duty for the United States Air Force. So he wanted them to hold off until he was back. And they wanted to get the fair out of the way and all of that. Well, he's back. And they made the announcement on the 2nd of August. And it's a big deal. So the release says, my write-up says, in what can only be seen as a major political shakeup that will send ripples through the city of Muncie and Delaware County alike, the Delaware County Republicans have issued a press release announcing that longtime Delaware County Democrats Jerry Dishman and Roger Overby have officially switched parties, joining the Delaware County Republican Party. This move marks the latest in a growing trend of local Democrats crossing over to the Delaware County GOP. And in recent months, we've seen several of others do this. And this further shifts the political landscape in Delaware County and the city of Muncie. This is a big deal. A big deal. It's crazy. So getting down here and taking a look at this, taking a look at their posting, I'm gonna put this up so you guys can see this. I'm gonna read their actual press release and Jerry's statement, and then we're gonna hear the statement from the Democrat side as well. So here, ladies and gentlemen, we have. This is just wild to me. This is wild. We've got Dan Ridenhour and Jerry Dishman, and Jerry has long time been very adversarial towards Dan. So it's just wild seeing this picture. It's wild seeing this for many different reasons. Many different reasons. Just really crazy. Here's old Jerry back when he was a Democrat. He's got that Democrat blue behind him, we see. Jerry Dishman's statement reads as such. After several months of consideration, now think about this. Yeah, yes. Bad. It does. It absolutely is. Yes. Very bad. And as Mayor of Muncie says, there's long been question that Jerry Dishman doesn't even truly live in Muncie. It's been a major rumor that he has been living in Henry County for as long as I've been back in Muncie. I've heard that rumor. So, maybe I need to watch that for some time and see what we can find out there. That would be a major shakeup. After several months of consideration. Now listen to that. Now, I want you guys in the chat. I want to know what several months are. Can you guys, like if I said to you a couple of months, can we all agree that a couple means two normally? A couple. Sometimes I've wrongfully used a couple to sometimes mean three before. 2 or 3, but a couple, we're all aware that a couple is generally 2. I want to get a couple people, more than a couple people. I want to get several of you, I guess I should say. How many are several months? All right, Mayor of Muncie says several would be 7 to 9 in that person's views. Does anybody else want to participate? How many in your mind would be several months? And there's a reason I'm asking this. So don't be shy. Just put a number out there. There's no wrong answers. Dad says 3 to 4. The realist says 5. Audie says more than 3. All right. Okay. More than 3, 5, 3 to 4, 3 to 4, 7 to 9. Okay. And the reason I ask this is because, let me see here, right here. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. On March 1st, 2025, which was just 5 months and 2 days ago. 5 months and 2 days ago, Jerry Dishman ran for party chairman of the Democratic Party in Delaware County. That means on March 1st of 2025, Jerry Dishman stood before all of the precinct committee chairs that are Democrats and said, I want you to put me in as leader of this Democratic Party. And I'm sure he had Democratic values and beliefs in March. But now here, just 5 months later, Mr. Dishman is saying, after several months of consideration, I'm announcing my move to the Delaware County Republican Party. While trying to make this decision, I did a lot of soul searching and also spent multiple hours speaking with many trusted and valued friends and associates from both sides of the aisle. After listening to their opinions and advice, most all of them merely confirmed what I already knew to be the right move. I have been a moderate Democrat my entire life. However, the local Democrat Party has gone, in my opinion, to the far left and no longer aligned with my values and beliefs. I hold no bad feelings towards anyone and have always treated everyone with dignity and respect, and I always will. For those of you who know me, you know I have always voted and done what I felt to be the right for the citizens of Muncie, regardless of my political affiliation. My loyalty to supporting public safety and well-being of Muncie residents has not changed. The citizens in my district, and any other district for that matter, will still see me offering my help and giving it my best. Thank you for your support over the years, and I look forward to continue serving the people of Muncie as your Republican councilman for District 5. Sincerely, Jerry D. Dishman. They're changing because the 214 group is out and dead. Yeah, Mayor of Muncie says, and we have known for months he was leaving, so he only considered for minutes, not months. Yes. Garrett and Dishman tricked their voters. It was the only way they could get elected, and also was a move to keep the Republicans that the party is blackballing, keep out the Republicans that the party is blackballing. All these are very, very good thoughts. And Thad put up one of the biggest thoughts and considerations for right now. This is just not a good look right before the big vote for the budget. Okay. Keep in mind, and here's the thing. Well, I'll take you to the next statement. So the next statement is Tim Overton putting it on, obviously, Delaware County Republican blue. You know, there's so many Democrats on the Republican side. They are blue now. He should have put it in purple. The Republican Party is proud to welcome Councilman Jerry Dishman to our team as we work to move Muncie forward. Councilman Dishman brings with him a distinguished record of public service, a lifetime of wisdom and strong relationships, and proven effectiveness that will strengthen our shared efforts. Muncie finds itself at a historic moment with a once-in-a-generation opportunity on the horizon. What's that? What is that? What opportunity do we currently have? I've not heard anything about this. I'd like to know what he's talking about. Keep in mind, Tim is just the party chairman, and while there's parts and things I liked, I don't know Tim. Tim has been willing to communicate more than other chairmen, so I'll give him that. But I'll be honest, I don't truly believe that Chairman Tim is the leader of the Republican Party. I believe that the leadership of the Republican Party comes down to, it's like a three-way tie. It's Stephen Brand has the majority, Dan Ridenour has a section, and then Jessica Piper. And Tim is in there just kind of ping-ponging between those three. Mayor of Muncie, that's probably very true. How long before the vote on the mayor's spending will Jerry and Brandon be blackballed from the GOP? Yeah, it's very strange. It's going to be really interesting to see what happens here. The vote in the budget, to see what goes on, and that's a good point, Audie. It's going to be very interesting to see what goes on here. So he goes on to say, as factories and businesses look to return to the United States, thanks in part to the Republican federal policy. See, why are we not focusing on local politics? That's my problem with local parties. They're too busy sucking up to the state and the feds. They never focus on local. That's always the problem. That's the problem with the Democrat Party right now. It's a problem with the Republican Party. That means investing in infrastructure. Oh, the Republicans locally need to be ready to compete. That means investing in infrastructure, enhancing our quality of place, advancing our policies that foster growth and opportunity. And Audie said it there. Nothing like that's coming back to Muncie. With Councilman Dishman's decision to join us, the Muncie City Council now has a Republican majority. That is the only thing they are concerned about. And it is wildly stupid. They've been so concerned about this since the 2023 election, when Dan Ridenour won re-election, when Belinda Munson won re-election, and the Republicans got their asses handed to them on the council vote when the city council was now led by the Democrat councilors. They led the council. And that's the thing they've been concerned about. And now we have all these Republicans in the city running around saying, yeah, we've got the mayor's office and the council. No, you don't. It's the same damn people, man. Nothing's changed. It's the same people. So stupid. With Mayor Dan Ridenour, the city council, and the Republican county leadership now aligned, we are uniquely positioned to partner more effectively than ever before. Although, keep in mind, Mayor Dan and the county aren't getting along right now. We all thought they would when Brand became commissioner, but Dan and the county are butting heads. And Dan continues to keep butting heads with Brand and Matt Kantz, because Brand and Kantz are running around like Kantz is already commissioner. Everything Brand does, Matt's right there. They're already treating Kantz like he's the commissioner. And I don't think that Dan likes being double teamed like that. The easiest way to speed run political corruption is to have a single party rule. Without checks and balances, it becomes cronyism and rubber stamping. And that's all it's ever been about. That's the thing. I can remember back, and it takes me all the way back to the election when Dale Basham was running, and Dale Basham at his announcement party said that he wanted to be a voice and he said that he wanted to be a voice and a vote for the mayor. And I had a problem when he said it all the way back then. I had a problem with it. I have a problem with it now. And I don't believe that's the point of the council. The council should not be there to be a voice and a vote for the mayor. All right, let's listen to this. Who's getting ready to run for city council. He's ran the last two elections unsuccessfully as a Republican. Listen to the words this guy uses. Scary as hell. Listen to what this guy says here in his speech.
Thank you so much. Well, thank you all for being here, but I really want to say thank you to all of you too for, in the last months, you've sent so many nice letters and cards and messages, texts.
And what he's talking about is people sent all of this shit to him because he just lost a race. Like, he literally ran last year for state representative for the second time and lost. And, you know, he was boo-hooing it. And see, you can, matter of fact, you can see that's right up there. In the corner is his sign. Here's a sign from 4 years ago. Here's a sign from last year. So he's like starting to collect political signs. and he's not won yet. He's a perennial candidate that keeps running but does not win.
Of support and encouragement, even some offers and some new opportunities. And as I've reflected on the past and considered the future, I've decided that I'm going to run for Muncie City Council at large.
Because he's gotten to the point where it's not about public service, but it's about being somebody. It's about being a person with power. It's about being a person who gets to make decisions for other people. It's about being part of the circle. It's about helping out my buddies. So let's go on from here.
As I reflect back on my career as a teacher, guidance counselor, principal, associate principal at Muncie Southside High School, and then on as the director of the Career Center, then I did a stint at Muncie Central as the principal of that. Many stories we could tell, and there were many. I was interim principal there, and then most recently as the Visitors Bureau interim director. I've learned over and over again that Muncie deserves our best.
Here it comes.
I give it.
All right.
Here it comes. Right.
Over the last few months, I've been knocking on doors and attending events and visiting your neighborhoods.
Running for office for state representative, having nothing to do with running for council candidate.
Listening and learning so I can better represent you. And I've heard over and over again these things from you. We need better job training. We need better jobs, and we need better housing. Right, Mayor? That's right.
Right, Mayor. Okay.
Yay.
Check. We need better roads, better bridges, better broadband. Right, Mayor? Yes.
Right, Mayor.
Check. We need better relationships between Ball State and the city.
We don't need any better relations.
I'm always so sick of hearing that. Everyone, we've got a good relationship.
You can't even figure it out. We do not. Muncie and Ball State have partnered side by side forever.
Right.
I'm tired of that. Great. Enough. Yeah. Right. We got it. We got it.
Ivy Tech and the city.
Ivy Tech has built downtown Muncie. It couldn't be any more downtown Muncie if it needed to be. That's all right.
We are standing for these areas of focus.
Here it comes.
I believe that that the city council should be a part of follow the mayor's vision.
What?
Follow the mayor's vision. No, the council is a checks and a balances against the administration. It is not there to follow the mayor's vision. That is nuts, okay?
What?
Right, here we go.
City council, this is another idiot. He thinks that and any more people like
that the mayor's vision for Muncie can come to fruition. And
wait a minute, comments.
I want to be a voice. I want to be a vote so that the mayor's vision for Muncie can come to fruition. And
wait a minute. He wants to be a voice and a vote for the mayor?
No. See, that's the problem. And so that's the whole thing that this stuff is about. They're making promises to people that they're never going to live up to, because I've heard Jerry's not running again. So I don't even know what the point of this is. If Jerry's not running, if Jerry doesn't run for re-election, then you will know that this was all a bullshit game. If he doesn't run again, there is, because you know what? Nothing says he has to go up to Democrat headquarters. There would have been nothing wrong with him saying, I don't like what they're doing up there, so I'm not going to be a part of it, but I am still a Democrat. But they say, oh, no, I don't need to do that. I just need to immediately go over to the Republican side. It's so crazy. Munis. All right, moving along with this. So he says, with Mayor Ridenour, the council, Republican leadership now aligned, we are uniquely positioned to partner more effectively than ever before. We are united and common vision to make Muncie a safe, thriving community where families flourish, and future generations choose to stay. The Republican Party is energized by this momentum, and we are more optimistic than ever about the future. Please consider joining our party to make Muncie thrive. Okay, so that's that. Now we get a picture of Jerry and Tim. We get a picture of Jerry and Roger and Shane. When did Shane go? So Shane is now a Republican? They didn't even announce that Shane's over at the Republican headquarters. He's like he's like the henchman, a political henchman. He's not an elected official. He doesn't ever run for anything, but he's a behind the scenes kind of like stuffs letters and licks envelopes and stamps. Hey, Audie, did you see this? I don't know if you're still here, but if you are here, did you know this? Did you know that Shane is slumming around the Republican Party now? That's wild to me. That is crazy. Here, these two are again. Here, Brandon, Dan, Jerry, Basham, and Green are. Here's Joanne Boyce, the highlighter queen, Jerry, Tim, and Aubrey Christ. And then here's just a hodgepodge of a bunch of weirdos. So it's just really strange to me that this is happening, that this is going on. It's just, here's the thing. This is not these people running to the Republican side. And everybody keeps saying, well, this is the Democrat is dead. The Team Democrat's dead. The 214's dead. The Democrats are dead. The local Democrats are dead. Let me tell you. And then everybody says, well, this is a uniparty. It's a uniparty. No. It's not a uniparty. Let me be very clear. This is... Shane went there to support Jerry. He went there to support Jerry, Roger says. Okay. So he's not switched. Okay. So he's not switched. That I'm okay with it. And let me be clear. I like Roger. I like Roger Overby a lot. And I don't have a problem. I want to be clear about this. I get that these people are having problems with the Democrat Party. I understand it. It's not lost on me that these people aren't fitting in with what's going on at the Democrat Party. I know Roger. I've known Roger a very long time. And when I stand and I talk to Roger, and we just, the things that we talk about, if we're talking about news, if we're talking about what's going on nationally, if we're talking about hobbies, if we're talking about interests, I am 100,000% not lost in thinking that Roger seems to me to be a constitutionally conservative-minded individual. That's how he seems. That's how he seems. I'll be honest, I never understood why he was in the Democrat Party. That's how I've always... Same thing with Eric Hoffman. I've never understood the being in the Democrat Party at that time. But I'll be honest, my grandmother, Claudette King, who's passed away, if she was alive today, this Democrat Party, I don't believe would align with her thoughts and beliefs. So it's strange. My whole where I come from this is the party, how the Republicans are acting like, oh, now we've got a single Republican led party, and they're in my mind they're fooling these people. My mind, they don't care about Brandon Garrett, and I'll be honest, I don't think they care about Dishman. I think they care about being able to say we now own the council. That's what I think. That's what I think. And in my opinion, this is not the Democrat Party's dead. It is both parties are dead. And there are some smart people on both sides, but there are also a lot of brain dead folks, man. There are also a lot of brain dead folks. I just don't know. Here's my problem. While I love Dennis Tyler, none of these people had issue with what happened with the good old Dems stealing from the citizens and stayed. But now the Dems have crossed the line. Integrity just lost by all of the ones switching. They should have switched. They should have switched then if they were about integrity. Here's the thing. That's the thing. We're needing some new blood, and that's my concern. My concern is I don't believe either one of the parties are interested at putting new people in office. It's time to give some new people a go. You know, thank you all. You've all been elected for 500 years. Here's your key to the city. Here's your plaque. Here's your cake. Have a nice day. See you next time. Thanks for playing. That's just all I got to say about that. My question is, how many more switches are we going to see? How many more people are left out there? Not many are left. Not many are left. I mean, there's a whole bunch of people from like the Ball State Dems, like the Muncie Resist group and all of that infusion in. And the Democrat Party is not, listen, the Democrat Party is not just like barren and empty. They do have people that come to things, but they're just all brand new. All of the people that did things, a lot of those people are gone. Now, I do want to just quickly, briefly, before we move on, I want to read this next statement from Andrew Dale. And the statement from Andrew Dale was just pretty wham bam. Thank you, man. Andrew Dale released a statement August 2nd, 2025. Chairman's statement. Jerry Dishman, a lifelong member of the Delaware County Democratic Party, announced today that he is now a member of the Republican Party. While this may come as a surprise to some, this is not a surprise to me. Andrew Dale. Okay, Andrew Dale. Allow me to explain through an open letter to Jerry Dishman. Jerry, as you're aware, this is Andrew Dale speaking, not me. I've made many attempts to communicate with you since March 1st of this year. Now listen, why he said March 1st? Why he said March 1st? Because that's back when Jerry ran to be chairman of the party. That's just 5 months ago. Okay. I've made many attempts to communicate with you since March 1st of this year, the day of the caucus, which elected new leadership for the Delaware County Democratic Party, and the day you communicated to me a willingness to work together. You ran as a candidate for chairman, and your wife, Judy, ran to become vice chairwoman that day. We hugged after the election as friends and committed volunteers and agreed to work together. Since that day, I've left you voicemails, emails, and texts, all unanswered. My communications expressed a sincere desire on my part to work together to advance our party's relevance and success. Specifically, I extended the opportunity to elevate your ideas and aspirations for the party along with my own and that of our party's membership for the benefit of the people of Delaware County. I now read that you believe that the local Democratic Party is disproportionately progressive. I don't share that assertion because I know that's factually untrue. My party, your former party, is an organization made up of a blended group of people who believe in supporting the United States Constitution, upholding our laws, which serve as the guide rails for our society. We believe in providing equal rights with equitable outcomes. We believe in health care for all. We believe in fiscal responsibility and how our local government prioritizes its objectives and its deliverables. We believe that at-risk and marginalized communities should be cared for and protected and nurtured to an extent where fear is exchanged for hope. We push an agenda of sound investment in America, Indiana, and Delaware County, including good-paying jobs and union labor, which you have personally benefited in your own career, which protects the rights of workers. We stand for personal freedoms to live how you want to live, love who you want to love, and be who you are. Simply put, what you signed up for is not what the Delaware County Democratic Party believes. If you feel that the declaration above is too progressive, then I'll settle for guilty as charged, because now is the time for the Democrats, independents, and forward-thinking Republicans to lean in, be present, speak up, and serve others as they themselves need to be served. It's as simple as that. Respectfully, Andrew Dale, chairman of the Delaware County Democratic Party. So, I had no hard feelings with anyone, and there was some good people as candidates, but as an old school Democrat, I felt out of place with my beliefs. Yeah, and that makes sense to me, Roger, as far as knowing you personally, and all of that. I just hate how the oh my God. I hate how the Republican Party is going to spin this. Hold on one second. So I just hate how the Republican Party is now spinning this. Moreover, how Dale Basham and the Republicans on the council are going to spin this, and how Dan is going to spin this. That's my problem. My other issue is, I'll be honest, while it makes sense for me for Roger to change, and since he's not in office currently and whatever, okay, I get it. For Jerry, it's kind of strange, specifically if it's true that he's not going to run. If he's not running anymore, this makes no sense. So it's going to be interesting to see what comes of this. It's going to be interesting to see who else jumps ship, if this is over, if there's more to come, and how this flips things. I'm telling you, I still fully believe that Andrew Dale is going to stack the ballot. I think in the definitely in the city election, so 2 elections not next year, but the year after, I think Andrew will absolutely stack the ballot with Democrat candidates. And I think in all likelihood, we will see him fill the ballot, maybe not all the way, but we will see a lot of Democrat candidates in this next year's election. And I fully believe that we'll see that. Now, will they win? Time will tell. I don't know. But I think that's one thing that we will see. I believe that he will do a good job of getting people to fill the seats of these candidates. That doesn't necessarily mean they'll win, but I think that's where we are. So it'll be interesting to see how this shapes politics in Muncie and Delaware County over the next year, 2 years, over the next election cycle, which after this year will be three years of elections. So that'll be interesting. Okay, on from there, ladies and gentlemen. Tomorrow, Monday. Well, yeah. I know that, Sarah. I'm just saying it'll be interesting to see what'll happen. It'll be interesting to see if any of these freshly minted Republicans on the city council will provide any pushback at all on the forthcoming city budget. That will be interesting. And I'll be really honest. If you want my honest opinion, I don't think so, because I think the people who have switched, Brandon and Jerry, are people who generally didn't give much pushback on that stuff anyways. The only reason they would have in the past is because they were Democrats at that time, and maybe Nora would have told them to do something. I think what we will see now is more of, if we see pushback, it'll be from Nora and from Sarah and from the remaining couple of Democrats that are on there, because Nora will do that. I don't think we will see any pushback from Brandon or Jerry. No, I don't think so whatsoever. So that's that. Kat, yeah, I think that's probably pretty accurate. Okay, next up, City of Muncie, Indiana. City Council meeting will be tomorrow. The agenda is up. We'll go through this agenda really quickly. It is a quick agenda. I was really shocked when I saw this agenda for tomorrow's council meeting. The Muncie City Council agenda is up. We're going to show this to you here right now. They've got just a very few things on this agenda. Here's bought with a coloring book and a bag of beef jerky. Brandon took a little more. City of Munis. I'll get to the commissioners meeting. We'll talk about that. That's next. Okay, so tomorrow, here is the agenda for the city of Muncie. The meeting will start. There's no hearing or anything like that, so the meeting will start at 7 p.m. A pledge of allegiance, invocation, citizen recognition, roll call. They've got the counselors on here for a change. That's amazing. They've got them all on there. Approval of the minutes, appointments to boards and commissions, committee reports, ordinances previously introduced. Okay. They, ordinance 22 and 23 are talking about amending the city of Muncie's comprehensive zoning. Those will be pretty quick like. Ordinance of approval to amend the text of the city of Muncie comprehensive zoning ordinance regarding lot width, lot coverage, setbacks, and minimum floor area in the R1, R2, and R3 residence zone, regarding accessory dwellings use in the R4 residence zone. And then the biggie is ordinance 2525, an ordinance amending chapter 35, section 22 of the Muncie City Ordinances, entitled Emergency Medical Services Fees and Collection. This is concerning the Muncie fire-based EMS. It's going to be interesting to see what the fire chief and what the counselors do here. I hate hearing people say, oh, the fire-based EMS is trash. It's always been trash. No, at one time it was up, running, working. Everything was good. It's had a couple bobbles here lately as the EMS chief was fired for domestic violence and arrested for domestic violence, and that was a bobble. And they've had some weird things going on here, and the money that this has been bringing in, it's been used to do other things than put back into the EMS situation. And now they're doing this, and this is going to be very questionable. It's going to be interesting to see what comes out and shakes out on this. Nora seems to be against this, or at least seems like she wants people to think that she's against it. There's always different. She's always got lots of layers, so you never really know. But it'll be interesting to see what they do here. That's the end of it. That's the end of the meeting. Those 1, 2, 3, 4 things. There is no new business that's being introduced. They'll do other business, which is the citizen comments, and then they will have the adjournment. So that's that. It will be live streaming. I don't know if we're going to live stream it or not. If we don't live stream it, it will be live streamed on the YouTube page. I will be in Winchester, and because the Winchester City Council has a meeting, and we'll talk about that in a moment. But whether or not we live stream it, we will go over this, and we'll go over what happens. I will watch it. It will be live streaming, and so that'll be there. I'll keep you posted and let you know. Well, I'll tell you this. Tomorrow at 7 p.m., if you get on and you get a notification that we are going live at 7 p.m., we'll be live streaming the council meeting. If not, we won't be. You'll have to check for it. Just watch for it. It'll be very interesting. So this is this. The other thing that I wanted to say about the city of Muncie is, and it's very interesting, they were supposed to have a DLGF budget workshop meeting on Thursday, the 31st of July. And Nora mentioned this the other day, back during the July meeting. Ahead of the meeting, I sent an email to Nora and to the mayor and to the controller asking them who was attending. And if they knew, because the mayor, for the first time, I think for the first time in forever, under Ridenhour's term, the mayor has invited all of the council people. And so I think that's interesting, or at least invited some of them. I reached out and I asked who from the council would be there. Nora said she did not know. Later that day, I reached out to Nora and said, how did the meeting go? And Nora told me the meeting was canceled. I asked her why, and she said she didn't know. I then reached out to the mayor and to the controller, and I asked them why the meeting was canceled, and they have still not, responded to me. They've not said anything. So they've not answered that. So I'm going to have to push back on tomorrow and try to get a response. My thought in this, since I haven't heard anything yet, was the possibility that maybe a quorum of council members were going to be there. And since they didn't publicly post it, they had to cancel it and wait until they could set another date and post it. I don't know if that's true. Maybe it is. We'll have to wait. We'll have to see. I will let you guys know. That's just a little bit of thoughts there. So I will let you guys know that, and I will keep you posted. We're getting into August. The 2026 budget process should be starting up here, and any kind of delay in this is not a good thing. So they're going to need to get this taken care of. Even if it wasn't that, this is something that we need to take care of quickly. And so we need to get this going. And I will keep you guys posted on what goes on there. We will obviously be live tomorrow evening after all these meetings. And so I will let you know how everything shakes up, there. Okay. Moving on from there, we're going into other upcoming meetings. And before we get there, I want to say thank you to Master Commissioner Tim Holmes that said, congratulations on your 500th episode. I appreciate your dedication. Thank you, sir. He is a candidate running for judge. And once we get a lot closer to all of that, we'll have him and all the rest of the candidates on if they're so inclined. If they want to do an interview, obviously with the judges, it'll be a non-political, just kind of like, what are you doing? What are you interested in letting people know? If that's something they're interested in, we'll talk then. But I appreciate you stopping by and saying all of that. Moving on here then, next up, I just wanted to kind of make you guys aware of this because a couple of people have asked. So obviously I told you about the Muncie City Council meeting. Besides the Muncie City Council meeting tomorrow, we will also be having the Delaware County and Randolph County commissioners meetings. They take place at the same time, obviously in different areas. Randolph County's in Randolph County. It starts at 9 a.m. and it will be live streamed on their YouTube page. The Delaware County commissioners will be in Delaware County at 9 a.m. and it will be live streamed. I have the agenda for that meeting. The Realist, thank you, sir, for giving us a little bit of cash. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We'll just kick that over to the $5 and say that was the 5 for the 500. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate that. As always, we're very appreciative anytime somebody does that. Yeah, see, I got 5 on the 500th. Yeah, thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes. So moving on, I want to show you the Delaware County agenda here really quickly and show you just kind of what will be up for that. Let me go right in here. Get it right here. Here we go. This meeting will start always at 9 a.m. And anybody wanting to speak. Now, I don't like this. I don't agree with this. I think this is stupid. I will fight to stop this. If anyone wants to speak, you have to show up before 9, which is nonsensical. You should just have to get there. Of course, they've got some kind of problem, so, whatever. We'll fight that to the end. They will do a call to order, pledge of the flag, roll call, announcements, employee of the month, appointments to Board of Health, Civic Center Authority Board, and Fair Board. They will do all of that. They will then go through tabled business, where they will talk about the solar moratorium. He will bring that, though. I'm assuming they'll bring that off the table, and they will discuss that. Give me a second here. So they will take a look at all of that. I don't know what, if anything, will be discussed there. They will then do the IU Health Master Agreement Marathon. Pam McCammon, that's something they've been dealing with for a long time. Hopefully they'll be able to deal with it tomorrow. They will then do the approval of the minutes, commissioner meeting, presentations from road right of way dedication, Ashton Land Surveyors, Yorktown Land, Gordon Cox, contracts and or agreements for approval, multi-hazard mitigation plan, John Catino, McGriffith, True RX letter, Stephen Brand, Baird, Stephen Brand, NDOT construction change order, Stephen Brand. He does a lot of work. Imagine 360 letter, Pam McCammon. Thank you. Ordinances for first reading, ordinance number 2513, an ordinance creating a new fund for grant received by emergency management as to weather advisory equipment. Ordinances for second reading, there are none. Resolutions for approval, blah, blah, blah. Old business, department heads.
weekly, monthly, quarterly reports, payment of claims, $3,521,998.74. Payment of ARP claims, $10,452.50. Payment of payroll for 7/30/25, $1,048,283.25. And they will then go into public comments, commissioner comments, Shannon Henry, Stephen Brand, disbursement request, Sherry Riggin, and recess. So thank you, Roger Overby. Thank you. So that will be the Delaware County meeting. I will be watching that meeting. I will not be in attendance there, but I will be watching it. The only thing I'm really interested in that meeting is what will really be said during the solar moratorium part and the citizens' comments. I'm interested. I'm hearing some scuttlebutt that there's going to be a citizen there to bring something up, but I'm not 100% sure, so I will be waiting and watching. So we will definitely see what goes on there. Besides that, obviously, I don't know really anything that's going on in Randolph County. There will also be a Grant County meeting at 10 a.m. I will keep my ear to the floor on that and see if anything pops out, because Commissioner Chad Polling up there is a nut job. From there, the Plan Commission meeting will be meeting on August 12th. Just a reminder, the Plan Commission meeting will be meeting on August 12th. That's not this week. It's a week from this week. So keep that in mind. There's this picture right here. August 12th, 2025 at 6 p.m. at the Delaware County Justice Center at 3100 South Tillotson Avenue. Doors will open at 5:15 p.m. If you want to speak, you must be there between 5:15 and 6 p.m. I don't like that. I'm fighting it. I'm fighting a lot of stuff. Later this week, we will go through an email that you guys can send in if you're so inclined to send in emails. If you're interested in doing that, you can do one of two things. You can call the Plan Commission and tell them that you don't like what they're doing, and you can ask them to do it differently. There's the phone number. You can also send an email to Delaware County Commissioner Stephen Brand. There's his email. Remember, be easy on him. He's a little sensitive, guys. Remember, he's just a little sensitive, so be sure you're to go soft on him. And then here is the email for Executive Director of the Delaware County Plan Commission, Kylene Swackhammer. There's her email. She reports to Stephen, so maybe go soft on her too, because Stephen is soft, remember? So I'm just telling you what he said. He doesn't like what, we know that he doesn't like big boy stuff and big boy language, so just be careful. Maybe we can do a show one night where we talk about sending out emails, and then next night we can send out Disney emails. So that's that. I'll keep you posted on what goes on there. Okay. That then brings us to the Winchester City Council meeting tomorrow. Winchester City Council meeting that will be going on tomorrow. They will be talking about the alley between Washington and Franklin. So I will be there. I will be in attendance because they will be talking about that meeting, that issue. I will be there, and I will be ready to hear what they've got to say, hear what they're going to be doing. The business for tomorrow, the Winchester City Council meeting, will start at 6 p.m. It will also be live streamed. I will share all of these live streams to my YouTube, whether we do them or not, to my social media. If we live stream it, these things, they will be on my social media. If we don't do it and they do it, we will share it on my social media. So if you're looking for the links, they will be on Facebook or X or our social media accounts. So you'll be able to find them there.
The Winchester City Council meeting starts at 6 p.m. tomorrow. They'll do the welcome and call to order. They'll do the pledge and moment of silence. They'll do the roll call, minutes from July 21st. Yeah, no problem, buddy. Yeah, they'll definitely be there, and we'll obviously talk about it. They will do the accounts payable. They will do the new business. Point number 1, APC, Joshua Plessinger, rezoning R3 to R2. They will then go into the old business, fireworks ordinance discussion, Divas Boutique, Washington's Franklin Alley, ordinance 2529, ambulance fees, second reading, and a couple of other things. But they do have the Washington Franklin Alley property rights issue on the agenda. So tomorrow should be interesting. I don't know. We'll keep our fingers crossed that they kill it. But if they decide to go forward with it, then you never know. We might have to get stupid. So we'll just keep you posted on what goes on there. All right, moving on from there. Now, here is the biggie. This is probably going to be the biggie, and we're going to have people all over the place mad on this, and this is such a stupid topic. We're going to cover it, and we're going to try to cover it as common sense approach to this as possible. Questionable text message, yes or no? Okay. It's supposed to be like a celebration. It's supposed to be happy. Everything's supposed to be good. Not supposed to be dealing with any crazy shit. It is what it is. Okay. Last Thursday, Thursday is our last day of broadcast, okay? And generally by Thursday, I either already have the show ready, I know what we're going to talk about, everything's going, or I normally don't go into Thursday without an understanding of what we're going to be talking about. I normally have a whole show planned out. Catherine was on the show last Thursday. Nothing we talked about focused on Delaware County or Muncie. And so that's that. Now, obviously, there's a lot of times I go on and I talk about things that are breaking news, or we veer off and we go wherever. It's my show. We can talk about whatever we want to talk about. But last Thursday, I had Catherine coming on to talk about Madison County, several different Madison County issues. And something popped up at about 5:15, 5 o'clock on Thursday. And this thing that popped up, I'll be honest, depending on which way it went, it could have been a thing or it could not be a thing. Now, if you went into it with a problem with the people involved, sure, you could make it a big deal. Or if you went into it, you could even hate one or two of the people involved and still say, I'm going to approach this with common sense. And if you did that, you would be like, well, there could be reasons why this happened. So I didn't know. Okay. So on Thursday at 4:40, I get a text message that a meeting that I've been waiting for was going to be underway at 5 o'clock in Anderson. I had no idea. So I jump in the car and I start feeting over to Anderson to attend this meeting at 5 o'clock. I just barely made it there. As I'm walking into the meeting, I get tagged in something. And I pull the tag up. I pull up the tag as I'm walking in because I'm just kind of killing time. I've got like 5 minutes before the meeting starts. And I read, I click on the tag and I go to the post and I read the post. And I'm like looking at it, but I'm like, I really can't really believe what I'm looking at. I don't really know what I'm looking at. The post was originally made at 10 o'clock on Thursday, July 31st, but I didn't get knowledge of this, or I didn't see this until 5 o'clock on Thursday. So I'm going to read the post to you as I read it on Thursday. You know it, Ryan. So I'm going to read this to you as I read it while I was standing in the Anderson City Hall waiting for this meeting. Formal complaint. Misconduct by county prosecutor. I am publicly documenting a deeply disturbing and inappropriate incident involving a county prosecutor and my 9-year-old child. Recently, the county prosecutor sent a direct message to my minor child's personal phone around 10 p.m. at night. This message included a photo of his official badge and a statement that he would see her in court. Let me be absolutely clear. My child is 9 years old. This message was sent in retaliation after his own children bullied my kids, and when my child finally stood up for herself, he used his power and position to threaten a child with legal action. As a parent, I find this behavior unethical, intimidating, and an outrageous abuse of authority. No public official should be harassing a child, especially outside of proper legal channels. There's no proper legal channels to harass a child, but I just thought that was funny when I read it. And certainly not late at night. If this happened to your child, I'd hope you would speak out too. I am doing this because silence allows this kind of abuse to continue unchecked. No one, no matter their title, gets to use their petition to scare or harass children. I encourage anyone who has experienced similar abuse or misconduct to reach out, and I'm calling on community leaders and elected officials to investigate this matter appropriately. Signed, a concerned and a protected parent, concerned and protective parent. Now, reading that, you don't know what the specific issue is other than what was alleged to have been said. You don't know who the prosecutor is. Is this the elected prosecutor? Is it the elected prosecutor from Delaware County? Is it the elected prosecutor from Madison County? Is it the elected prosecutor from somewhere in California? You know, what's the deal here? There's not a lot in that statement. That's the post as I read it. At the time that I read the post, I want to say it had 16 comments. When I first read the post, it had 16 comments. And I'm going to read you the comments as they were in the order. So the first comment says, "What a scumbag." Then the poster says, "That's Eric Hoffman for you." So immediately, okay, now we've got some context. They're talking about Delaware County Prosecutor Eric Hoffman. Okay. Then the initial poster tagged the Indiana Attorney General. Then someone else said the Delaware County Prosecutor. And the original poster said Eric Hoffman, yes. Then that person, the original poster, shared a picture. And the picture, and listen, I'm saying this for a reason. I am not posting any of these pictures to social media because there are pictures of minor children in them that are not my minor children. There are phone numbers and email addresses that go to other people than just say Eric Hoffman. There are other people that I don't know. There are children's contacts and information in here. So I am not posting this. You can go and find this stuff if you want to go look at it on social media, but I am not sharing this. I don't believe it's for me to do, but I'm going to describe to you what's happening. So there's a poster that's pictured There's a post that's pictured where you see a picture of a police badge, or it looks like a law enforcement badge. And in one of the pictures, it's hard to see. But in the other picture, it's a badge inside of a badge wallet. And it says Eric M. Hoffman, prosecuting attorney, Delaware County, Indiana. And it's inside of a poster. And there's fingers inside the post. And you can tell that it's not children's hands. You can tell that it's a man's hands. And all that you see there is you see something in gray above it say thanks. Then you see the picture, and then you see someone in blue, the person that is responding, that is not allegedly Eric, say, "Have fun, I live with police officers." Okay? It says, "Have fun, I live with police officers." Okay? So that's the complainants. And that's all that's shown in the picture. There's nothing else. The next comment says, "I hope you saved those messages." And the complainant says, "Oh, we did." Someone said he should immediately resign or be removed by authorities from the office. There is no reason, especially a person of his position, should be harassing, intimidating minor children. Someone said, "Can you make this public?" Someone said, "What Delaware County prosecutor pulled a gun on their own roommate a few years back? It was a deputy prosecutor." See, the other thing is people got to be very careful when they say prosecute. There's only one prosecutor. Then you have a chief deputy or two chief deputies, and then you have deputies. And they're all do the same thing, but they're all different people, okay? So then someone says, "Totally inappropriate, abuse of power, abuse of his power." Someone says, "I'm sorry that your family's going through this." Someone says, "Complaining on social media won't help your case. Please document everything you can and contact the Indiana Supreme Court Disciplinary Commission." And a couple people do that, say different things. Someone tagged me. This is when I became aware of this. Someone tagged me and said, "Kristopher Bilbrey might be interested in hearing about this." The complainant tagged me, and a family member of the complainant gets on and says, "He defends Eric Hoffman like his life depends on it. Laugh my ass off." That person then posted, "He doesn't go after what's right. He just thinks it's right." I then posted to that person, "Not exactly true. While I have defended Eric on some aspects that I can give very well thought out reasons for based on life experiences, prior training, and expertise, I absolutely have no issue calling him or anyone else out for bad actions. Just because you and I disagree on how the prosecutor's office should work doesn't mean I am a life defender of Hoffman or anyone else. What I've defended Eric on, I would have defended anyone else in the office on making the same decision. It's not an Eric thing. It's a prosecutorial discretion thing. Keep that in mind. Prosecutorial discretion." Okay. So the next day, then, someone says, "Kristopher Bilbrey, for real? Since when is anything discreet?" And I'm thinking, what discreet? This person goes on to say, "With all the reporting, criticism, calling out, or whatever you do, this is the first. Good one, Bilbrey." And the person says, "Clearly true. I've always defended him." Which I don't know what that person's saying. I posted, "Candy, what are you talking about? I didn't say anything was discreet." Discreet means individually separate and distinct. What I said I've defended Hoffman on was prosecutorial discretion. Discretion and discreet, while they do share a lot of the similar letters from our alphabet, they are two totally different words. You said, "Since when is anything discreet?" which means has nothing to do with or is being discussed here, which has nothing to do with what's being discussed here. Discretion and discreet, I guess, can be confused, but they are wildly different words with very distinct and different definitions and meanings. Discretion, the word I used, refers to the freedom to make choices or decisions, often implying careful judgment and consideration. For example, police officers, prosecutors, and judges have certain specific actions and guidelines they must take on certain things, while in other aspects they have discretion about how or what they do. A further example of this would be an officer can make a traffic stop for speeding. He then has discretion on if he writes a ticket, gives a written warning, or lets the driver go with a verbal warning. That is officer discretion. Likewise, a prosecutor has discretion on how they charge certain charges and what they do with certain files. That is what I referenced. You, however, typed discreet, which means being unnoticeable, modest, or careful in one's actions or speech. And that has nothing to do with anything I said here, nor does it fit in context in this conversation. So back to the drawing board you go. If you're going to try to shit on me, at least know what you're talking about and try to make it make sense. She says, thanks for following up. I appreciate the help. Another person says, hey, are you going to be talking about this on your show at all? Now, this was Friday when they said this. I said, yes, I've reached out to the complainant and I've reached out to the prosecutor. I have heard a little bit of information from the complainant and I'm waiting on a response from the prosecutor. I was advised that he had been out of town for a conference or something, so it'll probably be the first of next week. To which I get back, I've never seen you wait like this before on such a juicy story. Seems odd. What exactly are you waiting for? Now, this is where I'm starting to take problems with this, because there's another part of this that I know that I've not told you yet. But we've got the same types of people that listen, there is a large group of people in Delaware County that have absolutely no clue with what goes on in the policing world, in the prosecuting world, or in law enforcement in the justice system. They watch TV, they see a couple guys going out and catching predators online, and they immediately say, well, those people caught the predators. They should be jailed, and we should throw them away, and they should have felonies. Well, that's not how it works. It would be nice, but there's certain things that you have to go through to make it happen. Eric has been very clear that he does not, and he will not, and he cannot use these people that do the predator catcher things to prosecute people. He's not the only prosecutor that has said this. While there are a lot of prosecutors that do take those cases, there are a lot of others that do not. And I will absolutely defend Eric's decision to not file those cases based on what the people bring him. And there's a lot of reason as to why. I've done full episodes on this before. I've talked about this for hours. You can go back and watch those. I have 2 full episodes dedicated to this from Perception is Reality, and you can go watch those. And I can talk about this at another time. I'm not going to get into this now. Just understand me when I say, yes, if this is what these people are mad about me for, and I feel like it is, and I feel like a lot of these people are mad at Eric, they're channeling this, and they're saying, oh, this is the same guy that doesn't protect children. Listen, I'm telling you, there's never been a prosecutor in Delaware County that has protected children the way that Eric Hoffman has. You can disagree with me because you don't like how he has or hasn't filed a case on you, or how he has or hasn't filed a case against you, or if you've been prosecuted for him, or if you feel like you're a victim. We can argue all of that. But as far as protecting children, there is no prosecutor in Delaware County history that has effectively did more to protect children and go after the defendants that have hurt children and victimized children more than Eric Hoffman. And I can stand on case evidence to show you that. I also fully believe him as a police officer. Remove Eric from the situation. If I was still in uniform and I got a call to go assist a complainant because they had found a child molester, and I got out there and it was one of these people, I would deal with them the same way that Eric chooses to, because I understand the legal implications of what's going on. Now, at a later date, we can talk about it, and I'll get all into it and do a whole show on it. But just understand that when me saying this is not me defending Eric at all costs or with my life. It's me just understanding the law, period. All right. So this person says, like, what are you waiting for? And I respond back and said, you've never seen me wait? Contrary to popular belief, I normally don't just talk about things just willy-nilly until I get information on what I'm talking about. As I've said multiple times by now, I reached out to the man that made the post as I would normally do. And I'm going to be honest. I'm going to tell you about that here in a minute. But when I reached out to that man, and I'm going to tell you what he said and what we talked about. But when I reached out to him, and this is apparently the father of the child, when I reached out to him on Thursday evening after my meeting got over, he told me he didn't even really have the full story of what happened. He said the children were not with him when it happened. They were staying with somebody else that was like a kind of a quote-unquote grandpa, kind of like grandparents, but they weren't really their grandparents. And they said that they were staying with them. So he wasn't there. He wasn't part of it until after the fact. Also, what he told me was very hard and garbled, because when I say what I'm getting ready to say to you, I'm not being funny. I'm being very serious. While speaking to him, it sounded as if he was on the back of a crotch rocket with me on speakerphone while doing 80 miles an hour over gravel and crashing into empty beer cans. It was the loudest, most crazy phone call I've ever heard. I was able to make words out, but it was difficult. I don't know what he was doing. I told him a couple times I couldn't hear him, and he would correct it for a minute, and then it would just go right back to it. I don't know if he was at work. I don't know if I don't know what was going on, but it was crazy. There's no way I could even replicate what the sound sounded like. What I just described to you was as close as I could get. So he didn't even have full understanding of what happened. He told me that the child, because the child, in fact, did say she was living with a police officer, and that was correct. And I'm not going to identify this police officer. But the gentleman that I talked to told me that police officer, and it wasn't a Muncie police officer, so I want to be clear. It wasn't a Muncie officer, and it wasn't Delaware County Sheriff. This person told me that the police officer acted like it was a lesser deal than what the poster was making of it. And the guy told me that the police officer said, "Don't post this, leave it alone." So I want to be clear about that. Okay? And people are going to be mad at me about me saying that. And that's fine. You can be mad at me. I'm telling you what this person said. I did not record the call, but Meg, no, I'll talk to you after a bit about the Predator group. We've moved way on from that. I'm still willing to take more information from the man, but as of the time I went to air, I told him to call me back if there was any more information, and he has yet to do so. I'm still going with the fact that he didn't know very much, and the children weren't in his care. I don't know if they have custody or not. I don't know what the deal is, but he said they were not with him, and they were staying with these people that were like grandparents on a Thursday night. So I don't know. I also told this poster that I was hoping to get more information. As I've also stated, I've reached out to Hoffman for his side of things and was told that he had been out of state on some kind of conference. So I'm hoping to hear back from him today or tomorrow or Monday. And I said this yesterday before going live. Lastly, as I've also said, I would talk about this upcoming week's show. I air a nightly program 5 nights a week, Sunday through Thursday. Therefore, I am off on Fridays and Saturdays. Seeing how I first heard about this on Thursday evening about 5 p.m., and I already had a Thursday show planned out, plus I had a very minimal information about this, I would not have discussed this on Thursday evening, nor would I have discussed anything in this situation. Leaving the only other options for me to talk about this being tonight. Oh, that's interesting. That's really interesting. Leaving the only other option for me to talk about this now, tonight, or Monday. So the bottom line is, no, nothing seems odd. I'm waiting for information, really, from everyone involved. But the biggest reason I've not said anything about this up until right now, about this possible quote-unquote juicy story, is I've really not been on air since this hit. My first real time on air since getting this even baseline level of information will be this coming Sunday, August 3rd, 2025. To which another commenter says, "Boo, bro! Let's not act like you have covered stories minutes or hours after hearing about it. No way. You always have waited. No way you've always waited for both sides of a story to run with it. Stop." No, I haven't. I haven't always ran with both sides of a story to go with it. Certain things require it and certain things don't. Specifically, this situation, when we're dealing with children, dealing with minors, and dealing with the thing that, in my opinion, people are trying to make this a big official prosecutorial law enforcement thing, more than just being a child parental issue. It's touchy. It is touchy, and I'm not going to go. Not because it's Eric. It could have been from California. It could have been from Madison County. It could have been from elsewhere. Who cares? This is kind of a thing that, until I hear at least some information, because keep in mind, these people that are really dogging on me, they must not be hearing me say, I've not even really got the full story from the complainant yet. From the complainant. So they want me to go on a post where the initial post, they didn't even name what county it was from. There is nothing for me to talk about in that initial story. Of course, I would try to find information out about this first. People think that I just am willy-nilly not professional. Just because I say I'm not a journalism don't mean that we don't use standards. I'm not a journalist, but I do have standards here. And I've had information that I've sat on for 2 years before. So then I said, are you all purposefully forgetting the fact that I have a standard airtime at 9 p.m. Sunday through Thursday? And this person said, oh, I know your times, so will it be on tonight? I said, yes. What I know of it, which is not much, will be talked about this evening. Okay. At that point, we've seen more people comment and everyone going to town saying how Eric should just be fired, his head should be chopped off, and all this crazy shit. I finally was able to make contact with Eric this evening. And I'm going to be very clear, and people are not going to like this, so just prepare yourselves. I did not talk to Eric as prosecutor. I did not talk to Eric as an elected official. I didn't even talk to Eric as a friend. I talked to Eric as someone who, although I do not have biological children, have been the parent of 2 stepchildren that I have loved since the moment that I've seen these kids, and they've been in my life for a very long period of time, and I love and care about them very much. treated them and act like they were my biological kids from day one, parented these kids, loved for these kids, cried with these kids, everything I possibly could, have been divorced and still care about these kids, still check up on these kids and do all of this since the time I've been divorced, okay? I talked to Eric just like I talked to the complainant as a quote-unquote parent figure to a parent figure. And I simply said, what happened? What happened? That's all I said. Tell this, you obviously you know about what's going on here. What the hell happened? I'm going to tell you. Eric sent me some pictures, and I was able to see the screenshot pictures of what led up well before, up to, and after this. And again, this wasn't an official thing. This is not a prosecutor thing. This was a parental person to a parental person. And he shared with me what happened. And I'm going, and I read them. I've read them, looked at it. And as soon as I read them, I then deleted it because I don't want it on my phone. I don't need it on my phone. And I'm not going to share any of this. Again, not because it's Eric, not because it's whatever, because it has minor children in it and minor children's contacts. And I don't roll like that. I don't need minor children's contacts in my phone. I'm going to tell you exactly what happened. There was a group text message between a couple of kids. I think it looked like maybe 3 kids were involved. And from what it looked like, not knowing, I'm friends with Eric, and I'll be honest, we were really good friends before he had children. I have never met his children. I know he's got a couple of girls. I don't know what the deal is. I don't know how many exactly. Didn't know their ages until today. So I know nothing about his kids. Okay. This is the furthest and the most I've ever heard about his kids. And I don't like talking about this stuff because this is, in my opinion, way outside of politics. And I don't talk about personal kids. I don't talk about personal stuff. And I definitely don't like talking about minor children of other people. Okay. That's just not something that I do. So from what I saw in the text message, there was a group chat. We're all familiar with what a group chat looks like. There can be multiple heads up at the top, and you can have multiple people chatting. And you're normally the person in blue, and the other people are in gray. And the other people are on the left side of the screen, and you're on the right side of the screen. And what it looked like was a group of people texting back and forth pretty quickly. And now there was a lot of messages, like 2 or 3 screenshots of messages, where at least 1, if not 2, other unknown individuals, unknown to me and unknown to Eric, still to this time, were texting the number of his child, of Eric Hoffman's 9-year-old child. And they were texting things like, your mama fell down and she's so fat, she fell on a crack, she broke her crack. Your mom's got cancer, or your mom's dead, your grandma's dead. Stupid ass kid shit. Okay? Just dumb shit of no importance. It wasn't like, I'm going to kidnap you and kill you, or I'm going to come over there and rape you, or I'm going to cut your head off and throw it in a box. It was stupid kid stuff. 9-year-old kids, that's what we're dealing with. 9-year-old kids. Like 9-year-olds do, they have a tendency to react out of control, to overreact. And I will tell you that the numbers that were texting Eric's daughter or daughters were saying dumb things. Every now and then, thrown into the dumb jokes, they would also cuss, like say shit. I think a couple times they said the F word, but whatever. Now keep in mind, we're talking about 9-year-olds. Eric had his father watching the children while he was out of town at a conference. So late into the evening, I don't even know what day it was. I can't go back and look. Late into the evening, whenever this was happening, his daughter texted him and said, I'm getting blown up. I'm getting blown up. I'm getting blown up in this message. These people are texting me. And she called and was crying and carrying on. Eric gets woke up by this and doesn't know what is going on. His daughter probably was overreacting because the daughter knew it was a 9-year-old. You know what I mean? But kids will get scared and overreact. So Eric said, add me to the text message. Okay, that's easy. That's not a problem. So she added her dad to the text message. Okay. And the one thing that I do have is what the complainant shared. And I am going to read that word for word, but I'm not going to put it up because, again, there are minor children on the screen and all of that. But I will read this. So Eric's daughter added him to the chat because Eric gets woke up in a different state or different city by his children by his girl crying, saying, this person's texting and won't stop. And they won't leave me alone. Eric doesn't know if it's an adult, doesn't know if it's a pervert, doesn't know if it's bully, doesn't know what the deal is. So Eric asks his daughter to add him to the chat. And he does, and she does. At which point, Eric says, he texts, this is Eric Hoffman, prosecutor for Delaware County. Immediately stop texting my daughter or I will ask the police to visit your house. To which his daughter then types thanks. When Eric says this, he does also take a picture of his badge wallet and sends it in the text message. The other person doesn't stop immediately because obviously they're 9-year-old kids. So the other person says, have fun, I live with police officers. This person says, well, my grandma is a police officer, so good luck with that. Eric says, this stops right now. He then responds and says, if you have a police officer that lives with you, have them call me. To which the little girl says, grow up. You and your daughter are weird. Eric says, okay, here we go. The person says, have fun sending the police. Eric said, will do. I'll see you in court. Then a third party gets on and says, this is Robert Holland. Someone's father. I am removing her from this inappropriate group chat. If a parent needs to get a hold of me, that's just fine. Eric says, thank you, Mr. So-and-so. This is Eric Hoffman. I just wanted the chat to come to an end. Someone said, they made this group chat, not me. Tell your daughters to stop adding me to dumb shit. Eric said, will do. Thank you. And that was the end of it. After that, Eric had a parental talk with his children, and Eric blocked all of the numbers involved. And there have been no more contacts. Nothing else happened. That was the end of it. I was talking to Eric, and I was asking him some things afterwards. We were having a private conversation about different things about this, about kids in general. And he said, you know, people forget that a prosecutor is a law enforcement officer. And police officers at various times identify themselves both on and off duty and show their credentials on and off duty. It's not illegal for a police officer or a law enforcement officer to show their badge of authority. That's not a crime. Eric said the reason I did that was because at 10:30, 11:30 at night, whenever this was, I didn't know. My daughters call me crying, saying someone's texting me, and I don't know who it is. I have no clue who it is. And I identified myself verbally, and then I think, well, crap, that they don't know. Maybe who knows who this is? So he showed his badge and said, "Stop texting." That was the extent of it. Eric didn't use foul language. He didn't continue the texting going and going and going and going. The text from Eric, from the point that he was involved, from the point that he first got involved to the time when everything was blocked and stopped, was a matter of I can't see from the thing I have here. I believe from what I recall, it was less than 10 minutes. So from the point that happened. So let's see here. Mayor of Muncie, he abused his power, period. This is not something he would do for another child being bullied. I don't know that he abused his power. I think, do you really think that? I don't know if that's, I think it's just a father. I think it's a father. I think it's a father acting like a father would, saying, and it was funny that the kid texted him something stupid back, like, you know, whatever. Eric is a weirdo. Whatever. Cool. I'm good. I just don't know that. I just don't know that it's abuse of power. I don't know that I would consider it abuse of power. I will say this. Whatever, you know, look, maybe it would have been the best thing to just block the number straight off. Maybe if this shit happens again, he won't say anything, he'll block it. Was it the best, brightest thing? No, because all this nonsense is being made up out of it now. Do I think it's going to cost him an election? Do I think it's going to cost him? Do I think that, I mean, here's what they can do. Yeah, I know not all fathers are prosecutors with badges, but that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. All fathers would use the means they needed to make sure that they felt their kids weren't being bullied. At the bottom line, I guess here's the deal. At the bottom of this, if the people involved think that there was something wildly, grossly done here, file a disciplinary complaint. I guarantee you the disciplinary commission will not do anything with this. The whole thing is just stupid. It's really just stupid. Total abuse of power. Total abuse of power. This is not okay. And he says he didn't do any research on who was sending messages. Read predators. Shame on him. Now, listen, I think after all this was going on and while this was going on, he talked to his daughters and found out that it was a bunch of kids, and then it was stupid. Yeah, here's the thing. Stumblefoot's right. That's the thing. Badge or no badge, the kids don't care. The kids don't care. Ah, no, that's nuts. Getting woke up with death threats isn't a crime. No, well, so I guess it depends on what the death threats are. Getting woke up with death threats. No one's saying a crime happened here. So no one's saying a crime happened here. And the thing is, it's hard to understand what a threat actually is. So someone saying, I'm going to kick your ass, I'm going to kill you, is not technically a threat. Saying, I'm going to kick your ass or I'm going to kill you if you don't do X, that might be a threat. But someone sending you a text from who knows where may or may not. There's a lot of different factors that fall into that being a crime. But nobody's alleging a crime here. I guess the people alleging the crime or I don't even know if they're alleging a crime. They're just saying it's misconduct. I don't know that it's misconduct. I just think the whole thing is stupid, and this is a parental child thing. He didn't act as a father when he used his job. No, but you're telling me you don't think that there's ever, you're telling me, so if a police officer tells say a police officer's at a park with his kids and he's playing with his 8-year-old kid, and he's 13-year-olds over here playing with a bunch of kids, and he runs over and the kids are beating up, kind of bullying on his kid, and he runs over and he tells them to stop, and the kids are mouthy like kids are, and he keeps telling them to stop, and he's getting his kid away, and they keep running and mouthing, and then the police officer dad says, hey, look, I'm a cop, you guys better knock it off and leave my kid alone, pulls him away. You think that's abuse of power too? You think that's abuse of power? That is wild. He should have responded as a father. If it didn't stop, then add some badge power to it. Yeah, maybe. I mean, look, again, I think that maybe that could have been a little bit better way to handle it. At the end of the day, I don't think that this is a situation where a badge holder is pulled over for OWI and flashes a badge and gets out of it. That's not what this is. It's not, he's not getting special perks because he badged his way out of this. Again, I think that this is a parental child / thing. And I don't think anything comes of this. Now, people are not going to like me saying that. And I forget who you are, Mayor of Muncie. Text me who you are. I know you're one of two people. And I can't remember who you are. I think I know who you are. But I'm not really 100% sure. But let me know. Okay, so that's that. That's all. Listen, if the other person wants to contact me on a phone that I can hear him on and wants to give me more information, maybe it'll change. But from what I've seen in the text messages, I don't see anything else here. I don't see anything. I don't see anything else here at all. At all. So a cop can go to his kid's school and wave a badge. That you're adding more to this. You're adding more to this. I don't think that that's all this was is simply getting on a phone conversation and saying, hey, this is who I am. I'm identifying myself. No one else ever in the group ever identified themselves. They never identified themselves. So I don't know. I think the whole thing again is crazy. I think this is kids being kids and fathers being fathers. And I'll tell you, in my situation, even with my stepchildren, and even now, if some of them contacted me and said, hey, something's happening, I'm going to do whatever I can to help them. Whatever I can. Whatever I can. And I'll be honest, I did not get follow-up on that. I think after the situation was all over and once everybody was blocked and everything's done, I think that, finding out that, okay, these were kids, it was all kids, there wasn't any adults involved with this, because the other parent, there was another parent that got on and identified themselves and, said all that, whatever. And the thing ended. It just ended. After that, there was no need for police involvement. That's not always true. Law enforcement officers can act while off duty. It happens all the time. There's nothing wrong with that. You have to be careful in the way that you act off duty, and it has to fit within the law. Like Sproles, you can't go off duty chasing people while in unmarked cars and your shorts. This is no different than you giving Sproles hell for pulling people over. No. I knew it. I figured someone else would say it. There is a lot of difference. No, stop. There is a lot of difference. Stop that. Because listen, Sproles can act off duty all he wants. I don't give Sproles hell for acting off duty. What I give Sproles hell for is trying to make a traffic stop illegally. Sproles can't make that traffic stop on duty if he is in unmarked in plain clothes. That's the issue. It's police officers make traffic stops off duty all the time if they are in the proper way. Meaning, a police officer can be in unmarked clothes, and if they have their badge of authority and they are in a marked car, they can make a traffic stop. Sproles' issue is he is often in plain clothes and an unmarked car. That is the difference. It's not the same thing as Sproles. I would be fine with Sproles acting off duty all the time. All the time. Okay. All right, moving on. Just briefly, we got one more story and then we're done. Moving on, I want to talk about some real police corruption, and the latest story of ongoing police corruption looks to Fayette County for a story of this police officer who is the former chief deputy of the Fayette County Sheriff's Department. And I don't think that he was texting bullies and saying, stop texting my kids. I think what this guy was doing, this dude, dirty cop in Fayette County, worked as a mole for drug dealer, court docs reveal. Fayette County, Indiana, court documents reveal that a drug dealer behind a multi-million-dollar operation in Fayette County had a mole inside the sheriff's department, feeding him information and helping him stay one step ahead of the police. In October of 2022, Tristan Sweeney's home in Connorsville was swarmed by state police. Inside the house, state troopers found 309 pounds of packaged marijuana, 34 pounds of THC wax, and 14,000 THC cartridges. All in all, the bust was valued to have a street worth of over $2 million. Sweeney never saw it coming, but he should have, at least in his mind, because the drug dealer had an eye in the sky. One police wouldn't learn about fully until years later, as rumors of a dirty cop eventually led them to one of their own, former Fayette County Chief of Police Chad Blales. A man on the inside. On July 29th, a dozen criminal charges were filed against former Fayette County Deputy Andrew Chad Blales, 46 of Connorsville. These charges included corrupt business influence, a level 5 felony, bribery, a level 5 felony, obstruction of justice, a level 6 felony, and several counts of official misconduct, a level 6 felony. While neither Fayette County Sheriff's Department nor state police weighed in on the charges suddenly being filed against the one-time chief deputy, court documents obtained by Fox 59 lay out the case against him. According to the lengthy investigation spearheaded by the state police and the FBI, Blales is accused of being an informant for Sweeney, supplying the drug dealer not only with information about police activities and the deputy schedules, but going as far as tipping off Sweeney when investigators were moving in on his operation and even scaring off deputies who were prying into Sweeney. Court documents reveal that text messages were uncovered on Sweeney's phone between him and this rumored inside man. A birthday text helped tie the messages to Blales, who allegedly used an app to spoof his phone number in an attempt to hide his identity. But messages from Sweeney wishing the inside man a happy birthday was sent on the same day of Blales' birthday. Further investigators found another message congratulating the inside man on his son's graduation from high school. This message was sent the same day Blales' son graduated from high school. Federal investigators eventually subpoenaed the app maker and uncovered that Blales' name was attached to the account used on the phone spoofing program. You and your guys don't move anything tonight. There is a bunch of state police stopping people looking for dope, so keep yourself and your guys safe, Blales warned Sweeney on one of the text message chains. Court documents reveal that despite Sweeney having an inside man in the sheriff's department, one who rose to the rank of chief deputy in 2023, the drug dealer was still paranoid about the noose closing in around his $1 million marijuana operation. Shit's got me tripping, to be honest, Sweeney messaged Blales, but I be overthinking sometimes. Like, what if they tried to go around you or something? Not sure why they would, because I know everything that goes on, Blales reassured him. Plus, there isn't any new officers. My name hasn't been brought up by anyone at all, Sweeney asked. No one, Blales reassured him. What a goofy. Tristan Sweeney is a goofy dude. Rumors of a dirty cop on retainer. Further alleged evidence of Blales working with Sweeney came from informants familiar with Sweeney's drug operation. According to the court documents, one of these informants told investigators that Blales was dirty and working with Sweeney. In February, a few deputies with the Fayette County Department also reported hearing rumors circulating about how Blales was a dirty cop. One of these deputies recounted a time in 2020 when he pulled over a buyer spotted leaving Sweeney's house. After questioning the buyer about the drugs found on him, the buyer allegedly told the deputy that Sweeney had a cop on retainer within the sheriff's department. This same deputy said not long after speaking with this buyer, he pulled Sweeney over for surveilling the drug dealer's home, and the deputy was standing outside Sweeney's vehicle. He suddenly received a phone call from Blales, who was somehow aware that Sweeney had just been pulled over. According to the deputy's account, Blales warned him to back off Sweeney and not ruin Blales' investigation into Sweeney. Blales allegedly told the deputy not to push Sweeney for information, or conduct a search of Sweeney's vehicle. More allegations began to point towards Blales being corrupt in late 2024 when Blales was accused of warning Sweeney about GPS device put on an informant's vehicle. Blales allegedly asked deputies about the tracker, only for deputies to learn that shortly afterward, the informants received a call from Sweeney telling them to switch vehicles. Deputies later questioned that informant about his incident. The informant allegedly gave up the identity of the dirty cop who warned them of the GPS. The dirty cop was Chad Blales, the informant said. The informant told investigators that Blales was on Sweeney's payroll and received between $1,000 and $10,000 a month to provide drug dealer informant information and police movement and investigations to Sweeney. Sweeney allegedly called Blales his eye in the sky, according to the informant. The informant told investigators that Blales and Sweeney didn't trust each other when they first met. The story went that the pair stripped down to their underwear and put their cell phones in a freezer to make sure each weren't wearing wires. Then they cut the deal. According to the informant, Sweeney allegedly called Blales on the day his house was raided by state police, angry that he wasn't given a heads up. Blales allegedly told Sweeney he didn't know about the raid due to state police keeping Fayette County in the dark. Fayette Sheriff's Department and Blales retired. The Fayette Sheriff's Department said Blales retired from the department on January 15th, 2025. 14 days later, the department put out a statement on Facebook about an investigation into misconduct by an unidentified employee. Sweeney also faces new charges for his part in this investigation. Those charges include corrupt business influence, a level 5 felony, and conspiracy to commit bribery, a level 5 felony. Blales was arrested on July 30th and booked into the Fayette County Jail. Sweeney was apprehended on August 1st. So this is going to be a big story. There's lots of money that is apparently been involved with this. Let me show you up some of the pictures here. This is a crazy-ass deal. And it's just more of the same. Guns, there's guns. There's large amounts of money. Here is the drug dealer. What a dweeb. Just absolutely insane what we've got going on here. And then here's the chief deputy, Andrew Chad Blales. He looks really happy for being arrested. That's a pretty crazy deal. I don't know, man. This is a this like just adds to the long list of law enforcement officers that have been arrested or accused of different things here. Jamie Knowles, the sheriff of Du Bois County, the state representatives that have been arrested for OWI. It's a growing list of public servants that are being accused of very, very serious charges. And it's crazy. So we'll continue following this as always and keep you posted and let you know what goes on. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to bring us to the very end. Here we are. This is it. This is it. The big 500th episode announcement. This tonight, I was going to say this is the end of the show. No more shows. No, that's a lie. I just told you I'd keep you updated. No, so I've been talking with an individual, and I'm going to keep this individual quiet for the time being. But I've been talking to this individual, and I believe that we are going to kick off another show. It's not going to be a political show, and there's a lot of details that we're keeping secret right now. But as the next couple of days and weeks unfold, it will be a show that airs once a week, and it will be a static video show. And it'll cover a lot of other content outside of politics. So stay tuned. We have a lot of content that'll be interesting. We will do a lot of interviews. It'll be a lot of kind of like human interest stories. If any of you are interested in coming on and being on the show for an episode or whatever, we're willing to look at that. And it'll be outside of the political stream. So stay tuned. Keep tuning in here. It'll be some great content, hopefully some great laughs. Maybe it'll be a disaster. I don't know. Nothing's going to change with this. We're still going to be here live Sunday through Thursday, giving you the political content that you need, that you want, that you don't want, the shit that makes you love me and hate me all the same time. And we will keep you posted, but we'll be releasing a static video like once a week, maybe on Saturdays. since we don't do anything on Saturdays, and you guys can watch it when you want to, whatever. It'll be a little bit more edited and YouTube-like, so just keep looking for that. It's not Ryan Webb. No, it is not Ryan Webb. It's not a political show. It will not be political. It will not focus on politics. I will tell you, it's a female. It is a female. It's not somebody that if you think of the name of the person, it's not that person. I guarantee you. So it'll be interesting, and we'll see what goes on. It won't be. I don't know how we'll do it. I don't know if we'll do it on this channel just under its own link, or if we'll do it on a whole new channel. I don't know. We'll have to look. That's just all stuff we're going to look at. But it'll be interesting. You guys can help throw ideas out. We're trying to come up with a name right now. So if anybody wants to throw some shit out there, I don't do anything that already is a podcast name out there. It's got to be its own name. It can't be like anything else. I will not do that. So just FYI. It's not Nora Powell, contrary to popular belief. That would be hilarious. That would probably be an interesting watch. It's not politically. It's not a political show, I guess I should say. It's not a political deal. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. We're going to have 500 more, and then another 500, and then another 500, just to keep on disappointing you with all of the content, like the Eric text message. Give me a break, man. There's a lot of other stuff to be mad at politicians about, and a father reaching out and saying, "Hey, leave my kids alone." And that's not it, bro. I just gotta be real honest with you. There's a lot more shit to be mad about, I guess. I don't know. All right. You guys take care. God bless each and every one of you. We got a big week planned now that this 500th show's down. We can get back to work. 501. Let's rock and roll. All right. You guys take care. Have a great rest of your night. Thank you, Tweety Bird. Have a great week. We'll see you tomorrow. Take care. God bless. Good night. Goodbye. We be out.